What's up guys, it's Mr. Foley Games here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the lifelong argument that's been going on for a few years now regarding Call of Duty and why it is going downhill. I'm sure a lot of you guys are great fans of Call of Duty and you've been in this franchise for a while now and you've played a lot of the games and you think, well, Call of Duty is a great game and it's always going to be a great game, but personally I believe it's been going downhill since Ghost was released. Now, before we actually get into the real detail of this video, I'd just like to ask you guys, please subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest Call of Duty content I'm going to be releasing almost every single day this next week. So with that boring stuff out the way, let's jump in, and the first thing I want to say is that Ghost was actually not that bad of a game. Understandably, a lot of people actually hated Ghost, and I really don't understand why. I played a hell of a lot of hours on Ghost, and I really enjoyed playing it. I never found anything terrible about it. There was a lot of things that would have changed, like the maps, for example. They were not great, but they did do a lot of things better than, say, for example, Advanced Warfare, which I absolutely despised. Now, my fiery hatred for Advanced Warfare was just due to the fact that it just became a pay-to-win game within months, and I absolutely hate pay-to-win games because they're absolutely pointless, and I never want to see them again within the Call of Duty franchise, but I know they're going to be happening even more frequently. For example, in Black Ops 3, they've just released the HG40, and the Malice and the Carver and the new knives and stuff, and they're all cool, but the fact is you have to pay for a chance to win. It's not a guaranteed win, so it's just completely stupid, and the fact that they're making you pay for these supply drops just to get a chance to win is absolutely, well, retarded. Now, for a lot of you guys that don't know, there's been a lot of uproar within the Call of Duty community within the past few days regarding these supply drops in the HG40, for example. And the main thing is that Activision have actually forced Treyarch to add these things within the game, and I absolutely hate this because Activision was such a better company when Call of Duty 4, for example, were out. There was no pay to win, all I had to do was pay for the DLC and that was it, which was absolutely fine because those were things that we should have to pay for because obviously expansions onto the game that we should be able to pay for in order to play. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Treyarch actually planned to release these weapons within DLC for free for everyone, just like what they did in Call of Duty Ghost, which was absolutely brilliant. And the best example I can think of is either the Ripper or the Maverick. Those weapons were available within DLC for free, which was absolutely brilliant because you got a free weapon. It kept the game fresh and kept everyone alert and stuff like that. It was something different that you could add in rather than making them pay for a chance to win a weapon. Now, I'm going to straight up admit this, but I believe Call of Duty Ghosts actually did DLC best out of any Call of Duty that have tried to implement new weapons. Obviously they were for free, which kept the game fresh and authentic, and everyone wanted to have a go with them, and they could. If they bought the DLC, they obviously got the weapon for free with it, which was absolutely brilliant. And another thing that they added in was such as, the announcer voices, which obviously was not great and was not needed, but they were so cheap and so easy to get that people could just, pay £1.50 for example, then you got it, but rather than paying, 50 quid for supply drops that only got you, like, for example, one weapon or 1 ton or something like that. Like, for example, I spent £36 on COD points the other day and I have not had a single DLC weapon. Honestly, I would recommend to all of you, do not buy any sort of supply drop because within the next Call of Duty, obviously you're going to lose all that and you're not going to go back to that Call of Duty, so it's absolutely pointless trying to buy supply drops in order to get weapons that you're never going to be able to use after that Call of Duty is past its time. Now, if you go past the pay-to-win route of Call of Duty and completely ignore that and pretend it never happened, Call of Duty was once at its best when it was simple. Call of Duty has become too complicated within the future, and honestly, a lot of the things that have implemented have absolutely ruined the game. And in my personal opinion, I think, for example, the boost jumps were absolutely pointless and they were not necessary within the game. As soon as Modern Warfare 3 came out, that's when it started going downhill. Understandably, Ghost tried to implement new movement systems such as sliding and leaning and stuff like that, but that was completely different, bouncing up in the air and jumping around pointlessly, trying to kill people. Honestly, I absolutely hate the boost jumps and stuff like that, but I know Advanced Warfare added them in to try something different, but unfortunately it did not work, and I regret the fact that Treyarch tried to implement it as well within Black Ops 3. If we jump all the way back to Call of Duty 4, for example, that was probably Call of Duty's best game that they've ever released. The simplicity and pure authenticity of the game made it absolutely brilliant. The DLC was great. Honestly, you paid for the DLC and you got your map, and that was it. There was no weapons, no supply drop, nothing like that. You had your gun, you had one attachment on your gun, and you just went out and got as many kills as you could in the game. Obviously, now the game is completely broken due to the fact that hackers have completely taken it over, which makes me want to cry because that game was absolutely awesome until the hackers came along and ruined it. And I know Call of Duty aren't going to go back and clean it up because they're not making money from that game anymore, and they just want to focus on the most recent Call of Duties so they can make more money, which from a business stance is completely understandable. Now, we all know that the next Call of Duty is probably going to be Call of Duty Ghost 2, and obviously that's going to deter a lot of people because Ghost 1 wasn't the best of games, even though I personally think it was okay. But obviously, if they do release it, I do honestly hope they go back to the simplicity. For example, of Call of Duty 4. Ghost did it much better than Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 because there was, honestly, the simplicity just made it such a better game to play. The skill gap was obviously increased as soon as it implemented, for example, 6 attachments and more perks and stuff like that. The fact that you can only have 3 perks and 1 attachment on any gun made the game so much more fresh and difficult because, you know, you didn't have that option to go all out and put all these attachments on, so you got a competitive advantage over people, but obviously you lost your perks. And I really don't like the fact they've added stuff like that in because it just makes the game so much more complicated and difficult to gain an advantage over other players. Now, I'm really not trying to hate on Call of Duty because it is a good game and they have had great games in the past, and I will always be a fan of the franchise because of the nostalgia that I feel whenever I play a Call of Duty. Obviously it will never be the same because all they're trying to do is advance and beat the competition, which is understandable, but if they do remake a Call of Duty or, you know, try and go back to the old days, I think they would do so much better because so many more people would be interested in the game because they didn't focus on, for example, the competitive side of the game. They only focused on the casual gaming community and not the people who just sweated it out every single day of their lives to get as many kills as they could and make as much money as they could from the game. Now, the final reason, as I've just mentioned before, that Call of Duty is going downhill is just the fact that they focus completely on the competitive side of the community. They have not focused at all on the casual community of Call of Duty, of their player base, and it's absolutely ruined the game in so many different ways. The fact that all the esports things have all come in now, and they're all just ruining the game even more and more. In Call of Duty 4 or Call of Duty World at War, there wasn't this kind of stuff, it was just simple and straight to the point. They focused on the casual community and got done what they needed to get done, rather than complicating the game in so many different ways to make it more difficult for these people and even more difficult for the casual community, even though the majority of their player base is casual. Now, the heart of Call of Duty's success is actually based around the player base, which is completely understandable because if there's no players playing, then you're not going to make any money, which is obviously a business point of view. But anyway, I will continue. And the next thing I want to say is just the fact that if they did focus on the casual player base, they could potentially make so much more money because if they're making the players happy, then more players are going to be joining in, which is more money for them because obviously more people are buying the game, etc, etc. Obviously, if they do focus on the casual community more, they're going to have a few more problems because they've got to talk to a lot more people, and a lot of people have different opinions and they can't get them all right. But if they're just focusing on the esports part of the game, then they're going to ruin it completely for all the casual players, and the player base is going to slowly drop off, which it has been for the past few years. Well, that's actually going to conclude today's video regarding Call of Duty and why it is going to shit. But anyway guys, I just want to say a massive thank you for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest Call of Duty content. Also drop some comments down below to let me know your opinions of Call of Duty and why you think it's going downhill or it's getting better. But anyway guys, yeah, thank you for watching and peace out.